Hey students, in this video we are going to go through section 3.6, which is about converting measurements. So what we're going to be doing today is being given an amount of something, for example, a number of feet, a number of inches, a number of kilometers, and we are going to be converting it into a different type of unit. So going from feet to inches, kilometers to meters, inches to centimeters, all those good things. So really, we just want to define one thing today, and that is the word conversion factor, because that's what we're going to be using to do this. A conversion factor is a rate that equals 1. So a couple examples look like this. 1 meter over 3.28 feet, or another example would be 3.28 feet over 1 meter. So these are just the same thing but flipped upside down, and these are rates that equal 1, basically saying that 1 meter and 3.28 feet are the same exact amount. So even though they're different numbers, if we were to measure out these amounts, they would be the same distance. That's why they are a rate that equals 1. And you are going to be given a conversion factor sheet. So it looks like this, and it shows us different things like 1 foot to 12 inches, 1 yard to 3 feet, etc., etc. We can find this meter to feet thing, that conversion factor we wrote down, in a couple of different places. So if we look here, we can see that 1 meter, sorry, couldn't find it for a second, is approximately 3.28 feet. That's where our conversion factor came from on here. This is showing us the two amounts that are equivalent to each other, that are equal to each other. So we're just going to go into some examples. So in example 1, I'm going to be converting 36 quarts into gallons. So the way this is going to work is I'm always going to take my starting amount and my unit, so 36 quarts, and I'm going to be multiplying this by a conversion factor, by a rate that equals 1. I'm going to find that on my reference sheet. Now, when I do this, I want to find some sort of conversion factor where I can end up with the number of gallons and the number of quarts compared, and I want quarts to be on the bottom. That is because if I treat this like a fraction, if I put this over the number 1, cross-canceling would allow me to cross-cancel the quarts and end up with just gallons. It would allow me to change the quarts into gallons. And so that's what I'm going to be doing each time here. I'm going to pick a conversion factor that has my starting unit on the bottom and the unit I want on the top. That way I can cross-cancel the starting unit, end up with the new one. I know that seems a little bit funky, but we'll do several examples. So I'm going to look on my reference sheet for gallons and quarts. Gallons and quarts. Okay, looks like I found right here 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So I'm going to use this information for my conversion factor. 1 gallon and 4 quarts. Those are equal to each other. And now I'm just going to multiply these. So I am going to cross cancel my quarts with each other. I could also cross cancel this 36 and this 4. I could divide both by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 36 divided by 4 is 9. And then I could multiply straight across. 9 times 1 gallon is 9 gallons. 1 times 1 is 1. 9 gallons over 1. I just get 9 gallons. So I converted 36 quarts into gallons. And 36 quarts, there are 9 gallons. Again, I know this seems a little bit weird, but let's do a couple more. So next, let's do 50 feet into inches. Let's convert feet into inches. So again, I'm going to start with my original amount and my units, 50 feet. And I'm always going to end up putting it over 1 because I'm going to have to treat it like a fraction. And I want to multiply this by a conversion factor. I'm going to want to cross cancel feet, so I need feet to go down here. I want to turn it into inches, so inches are going to go up here. So let's look at our sheet and find inches to feet, inches to feet. Well, it looks like in 1 foot there are 12 inches, so let's use that piece of information. In 1 foot there are 12 inches. I'm going to cross cancel my feet with my feet. There is no other cross canceling, so I'm just going to multiply straight across. 50 times 12, that's going to be 600 inches. 1 times 1 is 1. 600 inches over 1, I just get 600 inches. So in 50 feet, there are 600 inches. Okay, let's try a couple more. Number 3, this time I am going to change 20 centimeters into inches. So again, I'm going to start with my starting amount and their units, 20 centimeters. It's going to need to be a fraction. And I want to multiply it by a conversion factor. I want to cross cancel centimeters and make those go away, replace it with inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and look at my conversion factor sheet and find inches and centimeters. Now you might notice there's actually 2 places it's going to show up. I have here 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, or down here I have 1 centimeter is approximately 0.39 inches. It doesn't really matter which one you use. It's up to you. But if you look back at your last 2 examples, it's kind of nice when the bottom number is just a 1 and there's nothing to deal with on there. So I might personally prefer to put how many inches are in just 1 centimeter. That might make it a little bit easier for me. This one here, 0.39 inches in 1 centimeter. Again, it doesn't really matter. You'll get the same answer either way, but I prefer to just have everything equal 1 on the bottom, make it easy. Cross cancel centimeters with centimeters. Multiply straight across. You can use your calculator. 20 times 0.39. And I'm actually going to use my little squiggly equal sign. Since we had one of those here, this is telling us this is like an estimate. It's approximate. It's not exact, which means our answer is going to be approximate. It's not going to be exact. So 20 times 0.39 is approximately 7.8 inches over 1, which is about 7.8 inches. So in 20 centimeters, there are about 7.8 inches. Okay, and let's just do maybe about one more. Example 4. This time we are going to change 25 ounces into grams. So I'm going to start with my 25 ounces, my original amount. It's going to need to be a fraction, so over 1. I'm going to multiply it by a conversion factor. So I want ounces to go away, so I need to cross cancel the ounces, and I want to replace it with grams. So grams are going to go here. So let's look on our conversion chart for ounces and grams. Well, I see 1 gram is about 0.035 ounces, but I also have up here 1 ounce is about 28.3 grams. Remember earlier we said it's a little bit nicer if this bottom value can be a 1. So I'd like to pick the conversion factor that talks about just 1 ounce. So I'm going to pick this one. So I know in 1 ounce there are 28.3 grams. Again, you can pick the other one. It just makes it a little bit more work. It's a little less work if we use a 1 on the bottom. So cross cancel my ounces. And because our conversion factor had that little squiggly equal sign, it means it's an approximate, it's an estimate. So I'm going to use that in my work. 25 times 28.3, if we were to use a calculator for that, we would end up getting 707.5 grams over 1 times 1 is 1. So we end up with about 707.5 grams. So pretty much every single time here, we're taking our original amount, turning it into a fraction, and multiplying it by a conversion factor. That conversion factor can be found on this paper. Our goal is to cross cancel our original units and replace them with our new units.